Welcome to Boujee Boys, the podcast where tech, travel, and luxury collide. Get ready to elevate your everyday as we dive into the world of the finer things in life. From cutting-edge gadgets to the most exclusive travel spots, we're bringing you insider tips, expert recommendations, and a touch of class. With your hosts, the dynamic duo, Ray and Miguel, prepare for a ride that's all about living the good life. So sit back, relax, and let's get bougie.
Okay.
Hey everyone, welcome to Boujee Boys. I'm Miguel.
I'm Ray.
Ooh, a seafood ravioli.
Ooh.
A lobster seafood ravioli with a white sauce, with a clam white sauce in this would be amazing.
We're gonna have to go somewhere to get some lobster. Get a lobster roll from Maine.
Oh, you know how much I miss East Coast
Seafood.
to have a real lobster roll.
Oh.
It's because it's not a white sauce or this what.
It's the lobster
just straight
itself.
butter.
The lobster
The
itself.
sauce is butter. It's the lobster's like drenched and cooked in the butter. The roll,
Dude,
just that roll.
when I went to paramedic school about 2014. Went to for my paramedic school. It was based out of Boston, or just outside of Boston. It was in Massachusetts. So I had to go over to Massachusetts, and with our class, had a lot of local people in that area.
Yeah.
There was a guy from Maine, and so he would come out on the weekends. But anyways, he went on his boat, and he'd do, during the day, would do lobster, caught a bunch of lobster. So he brought to class one day where we had a lobster bake. And when the back of his pickup truck,
I gotta go this way right now.
back of his pickup truck, we had the big old pots with the fire burners under it. We had burners, and we had like live.
Oh,
the
my
lobsters
gosh.
were live, and we straight up cooked the lobsters right in the back of his pickup truck. Got it, and had a nice lobster bake, and it was probably the best lobster I ever
Corn on
had.
the cob.
Yeah, we had it all.
So, summertime for some reason for me, some of the best memories is corn on the cob, seafood, shrimp skewers,
Oh yeah,
vegetable skewers,
like a shrimp scampi, or
Just
straight skewer with like garlic and butter.
garlic and butter with some thyme and basil
Okay, yeah.
right on the grill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just grilled, skewered shrimp. My mom used to do those. Then we used to do beef cubes with vegetables, onions, peppers,
Shish
some
kebab.
yellow squash, green squash.
That's what my family, we used to do a lot of shish kebabs with the
Yeah,
meat cubes
it's
and
bunch just skewers or shish kebabs.
skewers. Yeah,
Yeah,
just put it all on there and
and just oh my gosh, and it's like
throw some shrimp on there. Shit.
it's the best.
Some shrimp on the Barbie.
I like snow peas on the grill with some garlic aioli. You just do a garlic aioli with the snow peas on the grill. You know, if you have the grill plate with just the holes, put it on there, just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, summertime is coming up. I have a couple of these recipes that I would love to do. We're gonna have to
Do like a grilling episode, or
because
I've got my Komodo out here.
yes,
I'll fire that up, get it nice and hot, and then we'll do some recording. We'll put some cameras out there, and we'll record
Oh my
right there
gosh.
for the grilling. We can drink some wine.
one of my favorite things is a pork loin wrapped in prosciutto,
Oh,
right, with a plum chutney.
okay.
And
Now you're speaking my language, my Indian, the chutney. Honestly, I don't know too much about chutney. My wife likes more chutney than I do.
you
But
go a plum chutney on that. One of my favorite things. I actually have it in a recipe book.
okay,
Bon appetit grilling. So we're gonna have to bring that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pick a couple of recipes out of that book, and we'll have to use them.
yes,
Because they have amazing recipes in there.
that'll be the perfect time too. We can also grill on one of the episodes, grill a
Yes.
steak, and have a nice like a Malbec. Like,
Oh, We could do surf and turf.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, do a surf and turf. We could have a couple of wines if we wanted to.
Why stop at a couple?
Yeah. We'll just do a whole night of recording of us eating and drinking. Make it a couple of episodes long.
Maybe this will be a special live episode.
Yeah, there you
Answer
go.
some questions on the fly. So make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to us here on YouTube. If you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, head over to YouTube if you want to watch us live, because we have cameras set up too, for all those that are listening on the Apple Podcast, Spotify, all the different podcasts. So we're doing a podcast simultaneously with the video podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually our goal is to do some live videos and interact with you guys as we get more people. I think right now I'm looking to, once we get our video quality, so depending on how this goes, with the lighting and everything else getting going, I'm going to put a little bit of money into promoting it.
Yeah.
That way I can get it out to the audience, to a bunch of people. And
Yeah, you're the one with all the high tech and everything. I'm the one who just like...
you're the content.
I'm the content. I'm the one who does all the studying. He gets all the high tech and loves the videos. I'm the one who provides the...
You have no problem talking to the camera by yourself.
Yeah.
Me, I got to have someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And so I think with the tech and then having, it works out perfectly.
It does. It does. And it's so much
I get
fun.
bored talking to myself, so at least I have someone to talk to.
I could talk all day, but I do love the back and forth, because it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And just enjoying and talking about the
We
wine
get to
and
geek
food.
out on the stuff that we enjoy
Oh
in our
my
life.
gosh.
Wine, food, tech. I mean, I like more tech than probably you like tech, but you like tech to a point. I mean,
I don't have the time
yeah.
to do because of everything that goes on.
You don't have the time to collect all the tech stuff.
Yeah, or the room. I don't have the room. You have the room. Yeah. I don't have the room.
I have at this point now that
I have one income.
Our roommate, our person that we were renting out this mother-in-law area. Now that she's moved out, I've had this whole studio apartment to myself for.
If I moved in here, it'd be completely different then.
Yeah, then I wouldn't have room for all the tech.
No, you can leave all the tech.
This is my
I
tech
just
room.
want a bed and a place for my clothes. I'm good.
Just sleep in the sauna.
Yeah, sleep in. Oh man. Just put a bed and a room for my clothes and my cats. My 2 cats, they'll stay in here. They won't go out. And then I'm happy. Yeah. You can leave all the tech. No, I like my place where I'm at. I have my kitchen.
I mean, there's a kitchen here.
My kitchen's bigger. I got an island.
Yeah.
And you have to come to my place.
We will pick a time. When I get back from Paris, I'll have more time.
Yeah, when you get back from Paris,
I will make a special trip to your place to bring you the wine.
Yes, and your wife.
Yes.
I could cook for you guys, and you can bring the kids, of course. I do have I got a TV in the living room area. They just jump around.
They just need a spot to play VR.
Yep, I have VR.
They'll bring their own VR.
They can bring their own VR.
They just need a little space. That's all they require.
Yeah. I was actually doing some VR today.
Oh, people at work end up getting VR too.
Everybody's been.
They're getting into the VR, so it was like our goal this shift. I was supposed to. I brought my VR, but one of the guys forgot it. But next shift, I think we're all bringing our VR, and we're all gonna.
It's just gonna be in the same space.
We're all gonna be sitting in different chairs,
interacting with each other, but interacting with each
other through the camera. It'll be the Matrix.
A video.
We'll put the tripod and we'll watch us.
Yeah, you have to put a tripod up of all you guys doing this.
One of the guys that I work with on a different shift, he said he bought the VR for the VR porn. And he bought it, and I think he enjoyed it.
He's very happy, isn't he?
He enjoyed it, but then now he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to return it now that I got it. But I was like, I guess it's one of those post-nut clarity. I don't know. He was just like, he's like, yeah, I'm over it now. But there's more to VR than just porn.
All right, I checked out. It was okay. I mean, the visual. I mean, same thing as looking at a video, but it actually felt like you were involved. But I like the VR for, I mean, the games are fun.
Yeah, the game. I don't even. I wouldn't even know where to even get to that porn for VR. I mean, it's not like it's in the store.
No, we can talk after. No, seriously though, on a serious note, the games on the MetaQuest. I got the MetaQuest 3S. You got the MetaQuest 3S and the MetaQuest 3.
I have the 3.
No, I got the MetaQuest 3.
I have the 3. My daughter has the 3S.
Yes. I mean, like today I played a little bit of Citadel. Just because
I still have to get Batman and try that.
the Batman's amazing. I've been playing, there's the sword one. Oh my God.
Beat Saber? No.
No, no.
Actual sword.
I can't do the beat. I'm not that crazy. Yeah. I probably could.
Yeah, it gets intense.
Up for that one.
It gets intense.
No, Asgard's Wrath 2 Oasis. Really cool. It's about the gods. Okay. This one is actually about the Norse gods.
Okay.
So the Norse gods is Odin, Loki, Thor,
the Vikings.
The Vikings.
Viking era.
Like I said, I'm very...
The pagan
I
gods.
know a lot about gods.
A lot of pagan.
Yeah. Not really. I mean,
they're all pagan. They're all pagan back then.
Yeah, they're called pagan, but it's very interesting because a lot of Christianity, especially about things that we do today, actually come from there.
Yes.
Easter came from there. Christmas came from the Norse gods or from that mythology. Mm-hmm. A lot of things that we celebrate today in America or around the world, depending on
from there, yeah,
come from the history of mythology of gods, the different eras.
Look, I learned a lot of that going through when I went to Sweden and went through a Viking museum, and they had a lot of stuff about the Vikings. And then after that, I checked out the Vikings show that they had on like Netflix and all that, and it was pretty enlightening about all the stuff about that, because I really didn't think too much of Norse gods or a lot of the stuff in Sweden and the Viking era. Never really paid too much attention to it until I went over there.
So if you look on, I remember how our history lessons in American schools.
Yes.
Which was not the best when we were growing up.
No.
How Columbus found Columbus found the Gulf of America. The Gulf of Mexico. That's what Columbus found.
Yes.
The Vikings actually found America. And before them was the indigenous people.
Yep.
Who crossed over the frozen bridge from Russia to America.
To Alaska.
Yeah, into Alaska. And from there, they went south to get warm.
Because it's crazy.
To Canada, into America. And
it's just crazy to see how close Russia is to Alaska.
There is a spot where you can literally walk. There is a time of season where the
water's low enough.
The water's low and things are frozen, where you could walk to Russia. Like, that's how crazy it is.
I think the closest I've been to Russia is probably when I went to Finland, and it was like a couple, like 20 miles away. St. Petersburg.
Closest I've been to Russia, I did a DJ gig in the Russian tea room in New York City. Amazing place. They had a glass bear on the second floor. That was a fish tank. The thing was huge, full of water with fish in it, and was spinning in the middle of the room. I was like, all right then.
It was huge.
Yeah. But, and, vodka.
Good old potatoes.
I was watching a movie today because I haven't seen it. It's on Netflix, The Craven.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
Craven the Hunter. It's an MCU character who usually pops up in Spider-Man. He's supposed to be Spider-Man's arch-villain.
Okay.
He's like anti-hero. He's not really an arch-villain.
Like
He's an
Taylor
anti-hero.
Swift anti-hero?
Yeah, like Taylor Swift anti-hero. So they had that movie. I was watching that. And yeah, he's basically Russian or speaks Russian. So talk about Russian today. That was in my head. But yeah, it's like I said, a lot of our history, a lot of everything actually comes from all this mythology. And I say mythology, but who knows what times were? Who made these gods?
Yeah.
How did the knowledge for these gods come about?
Yeah.
Is it somebody just sat down, oh yeah, we're just going to make these people's god, sun god Ra, and this is for Egyptians, and then we're, even the Aztecs, there's a god for the sun. There's like...
Or did these gods actually roam the earth?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So is it aliens? Is it, because like they say, pyramids? If you ever seen Stargate, one of my favorite shows, Stargate, SG-1.
So this is where we geek out in different
Oh,
things.
we're going to geek
This
the
is where we
hell
geek out
out.
in different subjects.
Yes. If you look at it, they did look like platforms, landing platforms. They say, something can land on there. Just like how Stargate did, and that was landing platforms for alien ships. Mm-hmm. Why they made them. They weren't just tombs. They were for other uses. Very interesting. Hieroglyphics. Where our language came from. Yes, we made noises, then we evolved to make pictures. Even our evolution between Darwin, oh my gosh. Darwin's evolution. Between what the Bible says, how there's, I think, a correlation between like how the universe was made. The Big Bang is also the same as, hey, God made the world. There is a huge correlation between a lot of things. It's like people don't understand where there is that line where science and religion are very much in line with each other. In a lot of ways, it's just interpreted differently. I know, I'm getting off philosophical. Very deep.
We're getting deep.
Besides still drinking wine.
Might
and
need some more
geeking
wine.
Out. No, I just, to me, really understanding, especially with my background, I'm from the wrong side of the tracks. I grew up poor. I'm not a very smart, well-learned person. I didn't get a college degree. I grew up Catholic. Then at one point I went to Baptist, married a Baptist, Southern Baptist. Completely different. Weird. Baptist, Southern Baptist, You know why Baptists don't dance? Because it's too much like sex. Sorry, I had to get that out there.
You're not cutting that out.
No, definitely don't.
No, don't cut it or
Don't cut it. Just let it go. Oh, trust me, I've got a million of them.
So yeah, I grew up Pentecostal. That's just even
Yeah.
not without the snake oil.
Without the snake. I was an altar boy in New York. Yeah, I remember drinking that wine at like 8 years old.
The priest trying to get you drunk.
No, actually, the priest was married and had kids.
That means nothing these days.
No, but I'm saying it's very interesting because everybody's like, oh, priests are celibate. No, they have families.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they have families, they have kids.
I mean, it's crazy because like even with Catholicism, whatever, Catholics, can't even say it right now. But we had a guy who went into the whole becoming a father type
Yeah.
thing, and it's just funny. Like he was all about drinking and everything else. Still, like they're all like, I mean, they're normal people, and they sin just as much as everyone else. But like, to me, like coming from the Christian side of it, like Protestant side or Pentecostal, Nazarene, those kind of things that I kind of grew up with, a couple different churches. It was all about, being a certain image and doing the right thing, and then see on the Catholic side of it, it was like oh yeah, we drink, we do this. I'm like
we'll
we all
forgive you.
like we did that on the other side of the Christian side, the Protestant side, but it was more like it can't be shown. It was like, no, this is bad, this is taboo, but we're gonna do it. Just don't tell anyone about it.
You just get guilty.
And then the Catholic side of it, like this guy is like he's a ordained minister or whatever, or like pastor, whatever, his father, where they go through on that side of it. Because I'm not Catholic, but you open about it. It's like talking about jokes and the dirty jokes and this and that. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, is this legal?
What's
It's funny because the guy married us, me and my wife. He was right. He was a fire. He was in his defense. He was a firefighter, and he was a captain. So we're the worst. We're like truck drivers and military and everything put in together. Like we are like horrible people when it comes to our call. My wife puts it best when we're like a frat house.
Well, yeah.
Firefighters are like frat, but it's the same thing with military and all those other things.
I mean, we're both ex-military. We're both veterans.
It's all the same thing. So our sense of humor is really warped. And
I work in a shipyard, which is just as bad as working in a firehouse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So take someone like that, convert them to Catholicism,
a religion, period,
and put him in charge of religion.
Yeah.
You're like, wow. But hey, he was
and they
down
still
to,
got the best jokes.
Yeah, and he was the most down to earth though.
Oh yeah,
in the religion side of it, I was able. You can totally talk to him and not feel judged because they knew exactly what was going on.
Just like I said, just talking about religion, talk about mythology, talk about it all comes back. Everything. Offerings to the gods. Even the Old Testament offerings to God. Because when I say to the gods, it's usually when they say to the gods with an S, it's usually the different mythological gods. When you say the God, they
or unless it's like the Hindu or Indians where they do that side, they believe in multiple gods as well.
Yeah, so that's still mythological gods. And then the God, when you do, and it's very interesting.
But most religions, all the different religions, they all have the same base.
Yes. I always considered religion as a way to follow the rules of being a human. Not rules.
Like ethics and morals.
Ethics and morals. That's what religion is. It's about ethics and
keeping
morals.
Keeping people in check.
And just looking at what is...
Because like Old Testament, a lot of religions...
Right and wrong.
Base a lot of, like, even I was like learning...
Old Testament was cruel.
But like...
Old Testament was cruel.
But like looking at like Muslim or Islam and stuff like that, because my dad is Muslim, my mom's Christian, and I grew up kind of growing up more Christian on that side of it.
The Quran is amazing.
A lot of that stuff is based off of a lot of Old Testament, but once you get to the New Testament, when Jesus came, that's where people have difference of opinions and who's the prophet, who's this, within a lot of these religions. And that's where things separate, I guess. And not to get too much into religion, because we try to avoid religion and politics.
No. It's not about getting too much into religion, because, like you said, life, everything we do
revolves around a lot of
based
stuff.
in history.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what the religious texts say, we've all read the Bible. We've all read.
We all have some experience with some of it. Yeah.
Yes, like, you know, I have read parts of the Quran. It's been a long time. Don't ask me about anything.
I honestly haven't even read any of it.
It's been a really long time. You know, being an altar boy, I do enjoy looking and seeing. That's why I consider myself spiritual. You know, I put good thoughts, good feelings out to the universe. Mm-hmm. You know, like they say, you know, put out the good, get the good back. I'm not looking for good back. I just want to spread good and happiness no matter what. No matter how I'm feeling. You know, and to me, food, wine is one of the things that connects everyone in the world. I think anyone in the universe, to be honest, you know, other life out there, they are having some type of food, some type of drink, or wherever they sustain themselves on. It's the same thing. It connects everyone. You have to have some type of substance.
And wine's one of the oldest.
Wines is
drinks.
one of the oldest, you know. Water, wine, and food.
Yeah.
And it's something that sustains us.
And that's what I love about other countries is the difference in foods.
Yes.
Because you're experiencing a different culture with different food. The same thing with wine. Different regions, different areas of the world have different wines, but it's different. If we all had the same food, if everything we had here in Washington or in the U.S. was the same that you went in Europe or, you know, the different areas of the world, it'd be boring.
It would be boring.
I mean, we all have different palates, but it allows us to try different things.
There's so many movies that have been out through all the years where they showed like a dystopian world. Everything is the same. Everyone follows these rules. Everyone eats this here or drinks this here.
That sounds horrible and boring.
It's ridiculous.
That's why it's a dystopia and not a utopia.
Yeah. I mean,
but
I think utopia. Talk about utopia. I think we make our own utopia.
Yeah.
It's not about the world being a utopia or a destination, or I think it's a feeling. Like, to me right now, every time we're together on Fridays and getting to have the food and wine and talk about stuff, that's a utopia. It's a happy place. Like Happy Gilmore.
It's a dopamine rush.
Yeah, it's a dopamine rush. You know they're making a Happy Gilmore too.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Oh my God, the preview is pretty cool.
I haven't seen the preview.
I saw the teaser trailer. But you know how he goes into his happy place? Mm-hmm. Like, this here is a happy place.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a safe zone.
It's a safe zone. We get to enjoy.
But forget. The world around us. Whatever is going on political-wise.
Yeah.
Our busy lives. Everything else that's going on. Work. Everything in general. All the worries of our life is kind of put on hold right now for the time being while we're doing this. Like, all our stress and our woes that may be happening outside of this, it's like it's on hold. It's in the back burner, and we're talking about things we love and enjoy.
Yeah. And, you know, yes, we got deep in this one, which I think is fun.
It's fun. I mean, I don't know about you guys. If you guys are having fun, maybe you've already turned off. You've already clicked out of it and haven't left the video. Maybe you're still hanging out with us right now and still watching it, which I appreciate. And make sure you guys drop some comments. Let us know you're watching. Let us know that you're here. So, I mean, we see plenty of views, but we just need more interaction. And to let us know what you guys think. And guide what we do next week, you know. But, I mean, this is definitely, a time for us to decompress.
Is. And what I love, which is very interesting, is men don't get to
Bond
bond or vent
over certain things.
Usually, it's always like girls, trucks, guns, beers, or sports.
America.
And for us, it's a little bit different.
And the thing is, and that's the great thing, is like I have a handful of friends, people that I view as close friends, people I work with that are great friends, people that I spend a lot of my time with. But we all have different interests.
Needs.
So, like my certain friends, we bond on certain things, whether, like you said, guns or money, like certain things, like projects, like flying drones or doing small businesses, or just common interest. But there's not, I can't find. There's only a handful of people that I find that enjoy the same things I enjoy. You being one of them, with when it comes to wine and the good finer things like food and snacks and just our conversation. I have the same kind of bond and friendship with a couple other people, like the people we're going to Paris with. The wine and the experience we come from. We have the same goals in life as a family. The bougier things, enjoying the fine things. There's only a handful of families and people that we are able to travel with, drink wine with, and do the same things.
Like even just open up, period.
Yeah, but be able to go to a nice restaurant and enjoy. Hey, there's only a handful of people that I can take. I can go with you. I can go with, Laura and Alex, or Mike and Brenda, or Karen and Sherry, and certain people that I am personal friends with, to some of these restaurants that I know would enjoy,
appreciate. Yes, definitely.
These places. Taking them, we've going to Macaluso's and be able to sit there and be like, hey, we're gonna have some appetizers, order some wine, and be able to appreciate it. Going to like Walla Walla or certain places where we can get together and enjoy these things.
Yeah, because
there's only a handful of people. Because not everyone's into wine. Not everyone is into.
There are. Well,
it's a secret society.
I say it like this. We're from the 1900s, as they put it.
Yes.
The 1900s. Gen X's, Zennials, older millennials. I mean, we're a part of that group.
But even there's a lot of people within that group that don't appreciate this stuff.
But as we get, like I said last time,
as we get older,
you find what you appreciate and what you want to do.
Yeah.
You cut out a lot of the things that you don't want. We actually get a lot more introverted when you get older.
Yeah.
Because you're like, this is what I want to do. This is the people
you have
I
a
want to
routine.
stay with.
You have a routine, things that make you comfortable.
And you don't want to deviate from that.
And the longer I live and the more I'm around, the more I hate people. And there's only certain people that are my people.
Yeah. It's not really hating people. You just understand what...
I deal with a lot of people because of my job.
Yeah.
I hate people. Which you'd think would be the opposite. I do my job because I love people. No.
You're a firefighter. You only go in... You're called for emergencies.
You would think. But it's their emergency. Let's just put it that way.
Emergency. But you're... Okay,
to me, I'm I see the worst in a lot of...
everyone know...
I see the worst in a lot of people.
He's not a typical firefighter. He's a medic for the firehouse. So he gets called out for medical emergencies, not just for putting out a fire.
Yeah, so not just fires. So
you got the guys who stay in the firehouse.
Well, in this area,
go out for an actual fire.
Well, on this side, like they do that on the East Coast, but like on this side, in our county, everyone in the firehouse goes on medical, even the engine.
Okay,
I'm on the ambulance on the medic unit where I take them to the hospital. The engine gets to go back to the station and sleep afterwards.
Yeah, they get to relax, and you have to fill out paperwork.
So yeah, well, we all go initially, but I mean, they have their emergencies.
Yeah.
And to them, I guess it's an emergency. That's like, oh shit. It's this
Yeah.
thing. And to me, I'm like, I've seen worse. You're calling me for this? No. So I mean, but no. But then the respect that you get for some people, you go to their house, you're trying to help them, and then the way they're just, or you see some people how they, domestic violence or how beat their kids, beat their wives. You go to certain things and you just lose or people are just like entitled. And like you deal with a lot of people, and it's just like you lose.
But there has to be the upside where you do save a life.
Oh yeah,
or you
there's
get the
upside.
appreciation.
You get that stuff that makes you love your job.
Really, once you stay at the job, no matter how crazy it gets.
But in the process of all that, you see exposed to a lot of people out there and how people are.
You see the bad side,
and you're like, man, you hate people. But then you get people like, but when you get home and I get off shift and I get off work and I'm like, I just don't want to deal with people.
You don't.
I don't want to go out and to like hang out with people or a handful of people.
So,
there's only a handful of people that I don't mind hanging out with outside of work.
It's funny because I can DJ, no problem. I could DJ a party for a bunch of people, as long as they're over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've dealt with plenty of people who come into the booth or something like that. Even working on ships, working at thing, I like the night shift, less people.
Yeah.
I don't mind day shift. I don't mind dealing with people. But what I like about my blue collar job, working with my hands, is I know when that ship goes out there and we get it out of the yard and it's doing their thing, it's making other people's lives happy when that ship is running. That's why I enjoy it. There's a fulfillment. There's a piece of fun. Even when I was in the Navy,
yeah.
Being out there, I know I'm doing something for my country. Like when you were in the military, you're doing something for your country.
You have a purpose.
You feel, it's the purpose you feel.
It's forgotten country.
Yeah. Forgotten country.
It's what they tell you in the military half the time.
Forgotten country.
Yeah.
But it's fulfillment. It's feeling. I still tear up to this day for the national anthem.
There's a sense of pride.
Yeah, it's
come with that. The experience that we went through.
Yeah.
Before that, it brings back memories and things of why you do what you do.
Yeah.
You still feel that pride and that proudness of because we served. It's a little something.
To me,
special.
It doesn't matter who the president is.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
We're not
about
doing it
politics.
for the president.
It doesn't matter about any of that. It's about my family, my friends, the people who live here, who don't understand the sacrifices. Yes, I was in the Navy. I wasn't in a war zone, compared to Marines and Army. But every branch, no matter what they are, without someone doing something in that service, it doesn't matter if it's someone working behind a desk working on a computer or someone out in the field with a rifle. Everyone has a job in the military, and it's for a purpose.
And they all work together.
And it's to keep...
Whether you're directly in the mission or you're supporting the mission, you're a part of that mission.
It's to keep us to be able to do things like this.
Yeah.
To have wine, to have food, to know that we don't have someone invading, or it's to have our freedom. As much as America is fucked up at times, and I mean it.
I mean, we may be getting deported next week. We never know.
Yeah.
Even though we were born here.
Even though we were born here. Just like Born in East LA. I love that movie.
Or Coming to America.
Yeah, Coming to America. But to be able to have the freedom of speech, the freedom to do what we're doing now, and just to enjoy life, let our kids grow and our families.
It's all about family. I mean,
It's all for the sacrifices that happened in the past.
yeah.
You know, between the Civil War, World War One, World War Two. You know,
We are where we are today because of all that.
yeah, the French and Indian War. I mean, just, there's so many different wars that we've had,
Yeah.
but because of our ancestors, because of the Indians, because I'm Puerto Rican, so we had the Tainos who were wiped out from Christopher Columbus and from stuff like that. In the island, but I'm Puerto Rican. I was born in New York. You know, my heritage is Indian and mixed with a bunch of other things. Because of our freedom that we have now, you know, just because of your ancestors. You know,
My Indian answer.
your
Dot, not
Indian-
feather.
Dot, not feather. Your Indian ancestors.
And you have
know.
feather, not dot.
Yeah, I have feather.
Just to clarify.
But even the people in your heritage who moved to America,
Yes.
you know, so you could be here and serve in the military.
My parents, they came when they were in like high school age.
And you were born here, and you were able to serve in the U.S. military, and you were able to do what you want to do and be able to travel and stuff. There's a lot of places in this world, they don't have that type of freedom,
Yeah.
you know? And it sucks. And I'm not no Jeff Bezos or these $1 million.
Yeah. We're gonna make millions of dollars off this
people
podcast.
have all this money.
This podcast will
Who
make
can-
us famous, and we will make millions of dollars, and we will have the
Yeah,
next.
if I had that type of income, I would. Yeah, it wouldn't be about.
Would you still work?
Yeah, I would still work.
I'd probably show up to shift once a while. I would do my job maybe once a month instead of every week.
No, or I just buy it. If I had that type of money, I'd buy it and improve it.
Yeah. I'd still do what I do. I just probably would travel a lot more than I do.
I would definitely travel a lot more, but
And I'd have more houses.
I wouldn't give
Vacation
money
houses.
out to a charity. I'd actually want to go to those places because of how I lived and how I grew up and see what kind of change I can do. But not just other countries, here.
Mm-hmm.
What changes can I do here? You know, in America.
Yeah.
America.
What can you do to give back to your local community?
Yeah. You know, volunteering. People go do the volunteering. I wish I had the time. I do sort of have the time for that, but I have a lot of bad ADHD with my anxiety and depression. It's bad at times.
Yeah, I feel you.
So it's hard for me to get to do that. I'm working on that, and
I'm on meds I got put on meds that basically make it so I don't give a fuck. So
Oh my God.
So the anxiety part is just like, yeah.
I've had meds like that, and I just never wanted to leave the house, and I just lay there like a freaking.
Maybe that's why I've taken up all these projects because
Yeah.
it keeps me busy at the house. But I do love traveling still, so I don't know.
No, traveling's the best.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we went through two. Well, no, that's the old one.
You finished that whole bottle? Okay, what was I say? That one's still on this. Still good.
Yes, still on ice.
But yeah, I mean,
Can't reach.
that's what I live for right now is traveling. You know, being able, and I think growing up,
a lot of sulfates in that one.
growing
Give you all
up,
the sulfates.
growing up, I've done a lot of traveling with my family, with my mom and dad, but we never went to Europe. We went to a lot of Asian countries, Hong Kong, India,
I've never been to
South
Asian
Korea.
countries.
We've gone a handful of places, but I've never in the Bahamas in certain areas, Mexico, Canada, obviously, but Hawaii. But never went to Europe. So once I got married, Carolyn and I, for our honeymoon, went to Paris. That was my first time going to Europe outside of the military, stopping in Ireland kind of thing, but going straight on vacation. I've always wanted to go to Europe. Always wanted to go to London. Always wanted to go to like Paris, things like that. Never did. And then when we went, I was just like, man, we got to pack everything in this trip on our honeymoon for the 10 days that we're there because we'll never get a chance to go back. So we, from like 6 in the morning to like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, we were out for like 10 days straight. My feet got swollen. I was being the first time in Europe and not as bougie as I am now, wearing flip-flops out there and cobblestones and everything else. My feet were killing me. But I realized that how much I enjoyed it and made it a point to get back there. And now we've been it was up until, we almost went to Paris every year, all the way up until probably COVID. COVID was in the beginning where we did not get to go, and we took a couple years off, and then we made it back out to Europe again after, once things resumed. But making it happen because I loved it so much, it got to the point where like, okay, you know what? I don't want to spend the money. I can't spend the money, but you know what? I'm just going to do it. Book the trip, book the flight, find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
And scramble, whatever else you do. So it's like, I book it a year out. I'm like, okay, I spent all my money. I spent my mortgage on plane tickets. Boom. Okay. Now I got to find, it's up to me to scramble to find a way to pay the mortgage for this month. And then I find a way and make it happen. And like gets rid of all those excuses. It just forces me to do it and find a way like, okay, here's what we're doing. And
you live only once. You don't.
Yeah.
So our parents,
unfortunately, I would want to say though, I make all these memories and then when I die, I don't get to take those memories with me. But
no, but your kids get to carry it.
The kids get to carry it.
The kids get to carry it. They
get to do it.
And
but,
the thing is,
but I'm enjoying it while I'm here.
Yeah.
Because this is what makes me happy.
If you look at the golden age, let's say the golden age, which is before Gen X.
Not the golden girls, but the golden age.
Love the golden girls. But the golden age, then you had the silver age. If you look at it back then, they lived to work.
Yes, but we got to work to live.
They lived to work to provide. That's all they did. Live to work to provide to get by. Things were a lot cheaper then. But they worked, they came home. You had that one time in the summer, you took either the road trip or you traveled on a plane.
Only for a little bit, yeah. You get that 1 week vacation a year.
That 1 week vacation, and then you just stayed home and hung out. With growing up in New York with my mom, she is a late golden ager, maybe the beginning of Gen X, because she's only 17 years older than me. She had me, at 17, young. She bust her ass, found work wherever she can just to feed me and my sister. Growing up and moving and doing whatever she could. But now she's living the high life. She's going on cruises. She's traveling. She's making all the friends she could because she doesn't have to worry about us as adults anymore. Which is, I'm happy for her. I'm amazed she's getting to do all this. And I'm like, I hope when I am her age, I get to do the same thing. And it's just watching the joy of our parents doing their stuff now. But like I said, back then it was just live to work.
And that's why I love like the French and the European culture, because here in the U.S. we do a lot of live to work. And over there, their mindset is work to live.
Yeah.
They go to work, but then they're all about living their life. Their work,
family time.
Their family time, their holiday time, their vacation type stuff.
Yeah.
They go to work, but then, they put their life first before work. I mean,
I
in
mean,
a sense,
there's times what is this, places in Germany, or just in Germany in general, where if they're stressed,
they take a day off.
they take a day. I've
Get
done
mental
it
health day.
here.
I mean, you can take a mental health day.
And they get paid for it without
Yeah.
losing. Like,
There's
here, we
so
have
many
to accumulate time.
but you get it off the bat.
Over there, they sit there, and if there is really a thing with the stress, they send them to a retreat for like a week.
Take time off.
I'm like, give me a week retreat.
I mean, you have a kid, you get a year off
yeah.
to hang out with your family.
Instead
start
of like
your family.
three or 4 months.
Yeah.
And that's
now. Before it used to be only a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But now
and that's for the mom.
And that's just
who
Washington
gave
State.
birth.
Not all states are on board with that.
No,
still.
and that's for the mom who gave
Yeah,
birth.
not even the dad. So
The dad gets some,
Washington State, they do allow the dad now, not as much, but still
but they give
there.
him like a month.
But Europe, they're on board. I mean, you get certain things like they decriminalize a lot of the drugs and certain things and that by doing that, loses the appeal for a lot of people too. It's not the high of doing something illegal. I mean,
No.
not to get into all those politics, but a lot of places in Europe, they've got it down. I mean, yeah, we work hard over here on the thing, but at the same time, it's like I look at those things as like, yeah, you know what? When I'm
If
gone,
people are happy,
when I'm dead and gone, my employer, my job, my
will
work,
not care.
they're not going to remember.
They'll be like, okay, we remember them, we love them, move on.
Move on. They're going to replace me right away, and they're not going to remember all the great things I did for them, or all the sacrifices I made for that job, or for my department, or for my fire department. They're not going to think about it as much
It's
as
your name on a wall for memorial.
Yes. But who's going to remember it all? Like I've seen before, like they say before, your kids, your family.
Yeah.
They're going to remember all the times you're not home. They're going to remember all the times you worked during holidays or certain places because you had to go to work or do overtime.
But you're making sure that was something that was important, and they understand it was important because you're doing something to help the community.
But you don't get that back, and it's unfortunate. And that's why I like putting family first, going on vacations, taking them place. I mean, my family, my parents, they took me a lot of traveling when I was younger because they didn't get to travel when they were younger. So they want me to experience what they didn't get to do in younger. And so that instilled, so my parents still love to travel. They go on cruises a lot. I went on a lot of cruises. I think I've been on like 15 cruises just when I was a kid with them. So they've instilled a lot of that. I mean, so I don't go as many cruises now I'm older, but I do a lot more traveling now on my own with my family, with my wife and kids than I did with my parents. But I mean, we're doing things because they instilled those values of traveling and enjoying that stuff. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't know what I know today when it comes to traveling around the world. I would be in this bubble in the U.S. in my little state in Washington or California, and just where I grew up, and not know any different. And I'd be perfectly content with just where I'm at. But I think there's something to say, but going out to a different country and being exposed, you appreciate what you have in the U.S., but you also appreciate what they have over there, because it's a different side of the world, and not all places are as bad. There's places that are just as good as America, but like going to the Dominican Republic, when I went out there,
DR.
the wife and I, we went out there, and there's places where we took a cruise, but go around near the cruise where it's all by tourists. It's a nice area, but you go into the city and it's like, it's very poor and poverty. Mm-hmm. And looking at like houses that don't have electricity. Mm-hmm. Still, there's people living in huts almost. There's still, buildings with no electricity, things like that. And
there's a lot of places like that everywhere.
That's like all around the world. There's places like that. And it opens your eyes up to what you do have.
And what's funny, yes, this is our podcast is, just Boujee, living about, being blue collar, living in a white collar world.
Just wanting a better lifestyle.
Yeah. Like I said, wanting a better lifestyle. But we're talking about just world everything. which is we in America,
America.
but any major city in the world, where it's popular, France,
Whether it's
Europe,
Paris,
England,
London.
Paris, London,
Netherlands, like
Netherlands,
you go to Amsterdam or Singapore.
any of these places, if you lived or grew up or were born in those areas, you grew up with the electricity. Even if you were poor,
Yeah,
you still had electricity.
the big cities.
You had running water. Even if you lived in a shitty apartment, there are places in this world that don't have any of that.
And those are the smaller cities away from the big cities in all these countries.
They don't have
Luckily,
electricity going out there.
The one thing we have that we're lucky here in the U.S. is even the poorest cities right now
have electricity.
have electricity.
Shit, they even have a freaking TV.
Yeah. I mean, there might be
internet.
There might be stores. I mean, I can say I work for a city that doesn't
Unless
even...
you live in a mountain where there's nothing getting up
I
there.
will say I work for a city that does not even have a grocery store. But there are grocery stores nearby. City of DuPont. We don't, because we're near the base, we're near Lacey, Lakewood, all that stuff. We don't have a grocery store, but we can go out to the grocery store within 5 miles. So it's not that
that's
bad.
only a couple minutes.
But we have two Starbucks. And we have an Amazon warehouse.
So it was funny. I remember this joke. You walk out of Starbucks and you see a Starbucks across the street. You are at the end of the world. You're at the end of the world. If there's a Starbucks in one corner, you look across the street, there's another one. You're basically at the end of the world.
But yeah, so I mean, but other countries though, yeah, there are places that don't have electricity. I mean, there's no car. You have like a little bike, a little scooter. But I saw like in Dominican Republic, there's like 3 people stacked up on a freaking motorcycle with no helmet, going through, trying to get through. I mean,
yeah, this is very a deep episode today. But I think it's very...
It's eye-opening when you travel.
enlightening.
Yeah, very enlightening. You appreciate more of what you have, but then you also appreciate other things that other people have. You are more than just exposed to just your world. You're outside of your bubble.
And
the world doesn't revolve around just us or this country.
No, exactly. When we talk about like this here, mozzarella cheese, tomatoes, and basil, which we call a Capri salad, caprese.
A little bit of olive oil in there.
And olive oil. Do you know where this comes from? Italy.
Not here.
Not here. This is something that this combination didn't come from here. This is Italian. This is something that, if I remember correctly, probably be off, it was a common folk thing. They grew the tomatoes.
Yeah.
The cheese, they made their own cheese. Mm-hmm. They grew the basil.
It's easy.
They made their own olive oil. Their olive oil. Oh my
God.
gosh.
So much better. That's why I like importing even the Mediterranean, getting like Greece.
Oh my God. The olive oil. The olive trees. They sit there from the olive trees, from the olives.
They just have the better weather. It's just so much to be able to grow all this stuff.
But this is something that's not American.
It's not American, and it's not rich.
It's not American.
This is not something like rich people, kings had over there.
No.
They didn't eat this stuff. This is all common.
But you bring it here.
And it's like high end.
And you go to certain restaurants.
And only like high end people are.
All right. This thing here, just this.
You dropped your ball.
I love it. I dropped the tomato. This here, $20 for this whole thing. And you go to a high-end restaurant, high-end Italian restaurant. You want a Capri salad, right?
You're starting off.
You'll get half of that.
Minimum $15.
you'll get in slices, which I do like
a
it
lot
when
less.
it's slices with the big tomatoes,
Big
the big
tomato
everything.
slices, and you can make it
Yeah,
easy to scoop up and eat
Yes.
together, all three of them.
But you get the olive oil drizzle, the balsamic vinegar,
Because that's how I make it when I
Vinaigrette.
make it. I'll slice them up.
the basil leaves. But there are times, and this is an appetizer. It'll be $20 to $30.
Oh yeah.
And that is a smaller portion than what you just have here.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that's why I like Boujee on the budget. Like this here. But it's, like I said, it's Italian. It's not American.
But even going like that, going to a store and getting, I mean, the tomatoes.
You can buy the tomatoes.
I can buy the tomato, buy the cheese, buy the
And
basil.
you buy the tomatoes
do
on
it
the
yourself.
vine are usually cheaper.
You'll spend $10, $15 and you can have so much
as
more.
much as you want.
But again, yeah, it's like.
And growing basil, you could grow that almost anywhere. You could grow that in your window, in your kitchen.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I kept saying, because depending on the tomatoes you get, like my wife loves only a certain tomato from Metropolitan Market. You get a basic.
Roma or.
You got Romas are good to cut up, or you get the beet, whatever it's beet steak or whatever, the freaking big, thick tomatoes.
I just like the tomatoes on
but certain
the
tomatoes,
on the vine
each tomatoes, they have different tastes. And,
they do.
But yeah, throw in a little bit but getting those tomatoes and cutting and slicing them up, put some salt on there, get some basil,
And the thing is, you could grow a lot of this right at home.
And when you grow a lot of this, it tastes so much better because you're got your own nutrients.
Yeah.
And you're taking care of it, you're organic.
Tomatoes on the vine, like right now, I think is the perfect time to start planting. Around this time,
'cause we put outside there. We put a little in a pot. We'll do some cherry tomatoes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like around this time. I think is almost around the time to start planting. It's in Washington area.
Yeah,
you know, and because midsummer you're gonna have tomatoes,
and that's where but even going over to Paris right now is the time where things are starting to get ripe in the next month or two for strawberries, and I am ruined for life. When I went to Paris a couple of years ago and I had a strawberry over there, my routine that my wife and I had when I'd get up in the morning.
They're like this big.
I'd leave the flat, which is what they called an apartment.
Well, yeah,
flat. I left the flat. I'd go a block down, went to the bakery, fresh baguette. Nice. It's still warm and hot, straight out of the oven. Because they get it up at 3, 4 in the morning and start baking it. I'm out there at 6 o'clock in the morning. I got a baguette. It's nice and hot and soft. I go next door to they have a store which all the fruits. I get a little basket of strawberries. Strawberries out there, so sweet. Nothing added to it. It's all organic, the normal locally made strawberries. But the way the soil is, just like grapes, the strawberries are sweet. They're like candy. They're so sweet. They're like candy. And I have not had one strawberry here locally in the U.S. that can compare to it over there.
You probably won't.
No, I mean, yeah, I've tried because they import. The thing about all the places out here is they pull it off the vine way too soon because they have to pull it off and manufacture, ship
Process
it off,
and
take it to the stores, and getting it locally out there was so much better of an experience, and it was so sweet. I mean, even to the point where you go to every block, like we talked about last time, every block had a bakery, they had a cheese store, they had regular stores, they've had everything. You got there and you get to the butcher, all the fresh meat. It got to the point where they get to know their produce and their meat and where everything's coming from, which farm. They had a picture of the cow on the wall with the name of it, so the meat that you're buying
came from that cow.
Was Daisy from this farm.
No, the meat.
The meat. They put a face to the meat, but they trace everything to the point where if something is wrong,
grass it was fed from this.
Yeah, if something is wrong with this meat, that they
know exactly
where you got
it
it from, and they are able to isolate it. And if there's an issue, able to handle it.
No, that's actually really cool. I mean,
the
there's
eggs.
probably a lot more vegans because of that.
The eggs, they don't refrigerate over there.
No.
Because just like when we had I had chickens here.
I don't refrigerate them.
You get your eggs.
You put them on the counter.
You put them on the counter.
You don't wash them.
You don't wash them anything.
Because
if you have fresh eggs, you buy them from the store, you have to refrigerate.
You have to refrigerate
because
them.
of what once you start to refrigerate,
they wash them.
Yeah, once they wash them, but once you refrigerate them, it ages those eggs like a couple weeks at a time. Each day is like 2 weeks of those eggs, and because over here in the U.S. they give injections to the chickens.
Some places,
but they give injections for antibiotics and all that stuff, certain things. So certain eggs, you get to pump. But yeah, once you watch, same thing with you get your chickens here. Like you have your own chicken. If you don't wash the eggs, you can keep it out on the counter. Yeah,
keep them out on the counter. They last forever.
Same thing over there. Like they have each egg that they have, it's stamped with where that chicken, what the egg came from, what farm, all that stuff, traced all the way back, and the freshness of it. But it's so fresh that you don't have to refrigerate it, and it's great. I mean, I got to the point where the chickens still have the feet on them. Not my style. I'm not a big chicken feet thing, but you know,
not a big chicken feet thing.
No.
Well,
same thing with pig feet. I'm not a feet person when it comes to food.
Well, it's interesting because I grew up on pig feet. My mom made them with garbanzo beans and a red sauce. I say red sauce. Yeah,
I can see pig feet where people eat that, but like the chicken feet, the claws.
I can't. I don't think.
I don't know if people eat them.
Chicken feet.
I don't know if people.
No, they don't eat the chicken feet. What they do?
They'll cut it off or whatever.
They'll cook them and boil them, and they'll suck them.
Ugh.
They don't chew on it. They suck suck
the calluses off. Oh my god! Now we're turning into a whole nother different section of our bougie. I mean, I'll maybe
only dads.
Yeah, sucking the feet for money. But yeah,
all right.
I think it might be time for us to wrap this up.
I think
we're going on like 3 hours almost. Got enough content for the, but I think we'll still get together next week and we'll still film some more because the more content we have, the more I can cut and splice and over the next 3-4 weeks. And so for the days that we don't,
especially when you go to Paris,
we'll still have some content to release out
Paris.
there.
You gotta do all your videos in Paris.
I'm gonna do videos. I mean, we may get a special live.
We'll have to talk to each other.
We'll do the Riverside. We'll do a podcast late at night for me or daytime for you or whatever. Get to the point where we'll check in and do a quick little podcast live from Paris.
See how you're doing, yeah. Have your wife on.
Go from the champion, or I'll have the wife and our friends Laura and Alex as a special guest.
That would be great.
I'll take the mics. We'll get them out there. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll do it from my computer.
Yeah, and we'll get you on the computer and we'll just like link up and talk about how it's going out there and maybe live from the Champagne House.
Yeah, I'll bring I'll have bottled wine with me, and you'll have your French wine. I'll be like, screw you.
But yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Sorry it went a little bit long, but again, we'll cut it down. Maybe we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll.
Sorry, not sorry. I think.
I mean, maybe we'll just
fun.
Maybe either we'll split this into 2 sections, or we'll just put one long chunk out and see if people want to watch a 2-hour video.
I doubt they'll watch a 2-hour video.
They can always pause and come back.
We can always do like a half-hour section.
I could cut it up into half-hour, 45-minute sections and release it all at once. Good. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. You watch on your own pace.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait till the next week to have it. You can, if you're interested.
I think that would be good.
If you're into it, you can just go hit next and watch the second video. And if you want to wait till next week, you can do it on your own pace.
Yeah, definitely.
But and, we'll break it up
real quick. Representing like old school New York, can't go. LL Cool J, what's up, baby? Got the Pumas on, and I had to. So I went Temu shopping.
Nothing wrong with that.
And, got the nice little...
It's the Boujee on a budget.
Boujee on a budget. New York. I went old school, with just the straight out NY. Not sports one.
As we progress in this podcast and maybe get more subscribers and more, or people follow us and watch us, I might actually have to hire someone for like makeup and wardrobe.
Makeup and wardrobe.
I mean, I'll get my wife to dress me more, or do something like maybe get a subscription to like one of these little things that send me all these fancy
Threads.
bougie
The threads.
Thread Beast or Threads or whatever the stat whatever those companies are. But so if you're watching this and you're part of those companies and you want to sponsor us and send us some
we
stuff,
can do the big and tall place, XXL.
But if you want to send us some free apparel, we'll wear it on here. A little bougie.
We'll love it.
We'll push your product. But yeah, so thanks for joining us again. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit the follow button, subscribe. That way you get notified of next one releases. We're
Especially on TikTok,
Facebook, X, Instagram. We're on there. Look on our webpage. So the biggest place that you want to find us, go to boujeeboys.net, BOUJEEBOYS.net, and we'll have links to our other sites there.
Of course, he'll splice in some kind of text underneath that you could look at.
Right here.
Right here. Oh, it'll be over there.
Maybe there. But yes.
He's good at that. Me, I'm like, I'm not the magician, I'm the talker. So, thanks again.
He's the Vanna White.
I'm the Vanna White. Oh.
And for all you young people who have no clue who that is.
Oh my gosh. So, I'm Miguel.
I'm Ray.
Thanks for watching Boujee Boys.
All right. Till next time.
Peace out.